The road to the top is a riddle. What will be my destiny? Money and fame are awaiting, but not enough is raining on me. Maybe I should give it all up. How much more can I take? Out here singing to the heavens. When I gonna get my break? I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. How will I get out of the jungle? Everybody wanna stop me. 10 more steps up the mountain. Now everybody's looking for me. Spend my life in the desert till something changed inside of me. Now I'm flying over oceans. Everybody looking at me. I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Full power, get louder. I'ma get strong, just watch me. Full power, get louder. I'ma get strong, just watch me. Every hour, no doubter. When they hear my song, just watch me. Every hour, no doubter. I can run this town. Somebody give me the key. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. No more doubt about me. Oh, I can run this town. Don't you know I got the Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown. Order up that beat just like it's takeout. Show me you got soul inside those new shoes. And you can rock and roll with an attitude. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. You're the new MC, you got the remix. Keep it on repeat, just let the beat kick. Everywhere you go, you bring the roof down. Everybody knows you got your own sound. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Yeah, you like it, the way you like it. Oh, yeah, you like it, the way you like it now. Yeah, you like it, the way you like it. Oh, so good, so fresh. Get up on your feet. Show me you got soul. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Just the way you like it. The way you like it. So good, so fresh. Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown.
ESL presents ESL Challenger League in partnership with Intel, Acer Predator, DHL, and Qiddiya.
Damn, guys, we almost had this.
Thank God that's over.
Bored of endless matchmaking? Take your first steps towards EPL, experiencing real strategies against teams of your skill. Learn more at fce.gg/EPL.
It starts with a dream, with a team you barely know, in an amateur official that feels like the grand final, where practice becomes progress, and every loss feels like a lesson. When will your journey begin?
Here's to the challengers, the ones who don't just settle for decent elo, but hunger for something more. The ones who don't just queue for another match, but prepare for war. You can doubt them, overlook them, even count them out, but you can't stop them.
Right now, I'm with Dupree, who I can see has got tears.
While others play for fun, they play for legacy. This is ESL League, where challengers take their first step.
All right, welcome to the ESL Challenger League Season 50 Cup number 4. We are in the lower bracket finals right now, folks. And, well, we've got Boss up against Marsborne coming up. I'm JRT, joined by Vincent. Vincent, how you doing?
I'm doing very well. It's been a day of Counter-Strike for you and I, and I'm happy to be ending my day with Counter-Strike. It's just the way we started.
Exactly. No, I'm excited for it too. We've already covered a couple matches over in South America. Now we're jumping into North America to see which of these two squads will find victory, and two very different stories amongst them. We're going to check out the bracket to see how each of them got to this point. But quite honestly, just talking about Marsborne, it's a team that for me has been making such great strides since adding Sixy. And we were talking about in the green room before we started, like Sixy is a player that we didn't know how he would jump into this role as IGL, right? And if it would be embraced by him. But everything that has happened since he joined, it's like a ripple effect of positive things. Like he's doing well in the calling. Wolfie's playing better as an opper. Viz is also improved as a rifler. Chop is having great moments. So, I mean, it's just impressive how it has shifted so immensely.
It really is, and I'm sure we're going to get more into that, but I want to talk about the Boss side because it's been a brutal bracket draw here for Boss. They lose early and a bad loss to Mythic. That cannot be happening in the year of 2025, genuinely. Yeah. And like this Boss team, that is unacceptable. But listen, it's been mostly, I'll call them free wins. I calls them how I sees them in this lower bracket. Win against Ghost, Aether, and then Overnight. And then the lower semi, it was Lag that they played, but that was actually not a game. Or if it went Lag, a dead team at the moment. I think they're still trying to figure out how things are going to go with the Mason leaving / retiring. But nonetheless, for Boss, they've had to make it through that lower bracket. Grueling, but not necessarily difficult. This is the biggest problem that they have had to face.
Yeah, and I mean, I talked about it before, and I'll say it again. Like Boss, honestly, against top 5 teams have struggled, and I would say Marsborne's in the top 8 at the very least. And even in that category, Boss have not been able to do the job. When it comes to dealing with lower tier competition, they're very efficient. But then you have to be able to play with the big boys, and that hasn't really happened yet since Ben Lead has joined up with this squad. We are going to get the veto to come through here. And Nuke banned by Boss, no surprise there. That's their perma. After that, Mirage banned by Marsborne. And this is, that's their perma as well. They've only played it once over the last 3 months. So we see Ancient picked by Boss. Makes sense. That's the map they've been strongest on over the last 3 months, but it's also really good on the side of Marsborne. That's one of the benefits on Marsborne here, Vincent, I feel, is that their map pool is so deep that they don't really have many weaknesses.
I fully agree with you. And that's something that they're absolutely taken advantage of here with the Train Decider. That's in many ways one of Marsborne's best maps as well. So not that boss are particularly bad or anything on any of these maps in the pool. I mean, Inferno hasn't been great, but like historically, that's actually been a really good bin leap map in my opinion. The thing about that is that we've seen this actually happen not very long ago. 2 weeks, less than that back. These two teams met up in the semifinals of the Eagle Masters Series 4, and it was a 2-0 for Marsborne. It was the same map pool, in fact. It started with Inferno as opposed to Ancient, but that just based on who got to pick first. So it's run it back type of vibe, except it was a 2-0 for Marsborne last time. That's certainly going to be weighing in my mind when thinking about who I favor in this. And, Boss, that Mythic situation, not exactly adding up either in my mind when I'm thinking back to it. I got to favor Marsborne heavily.
I mean, and I do too, because if you look, I talked about, top 5 teams that, Boss's record against them. I believe it's 0-8 over the last 3 months, or maybe more. Yeah, like NRG lost, Blue Jays lost, Wildcard twice they've lost against them. Getting Info / Voca, I think it's 4 times that they've lost to them, something along those lines. Yeah, 4 losses against them, and then Marsborne recently a loss as well. So it makes about 8, I believe it. I didn't do the exact calculation on it, but it's very, very poor in that regard. So you look at that, you see this matchup here, and I feel like the writing's on the wall.
Well, let me compare as well, right, to some of Marsborne's recent results, okay? Yes. Close 3-map affair against NRG. They beat Skinrave. That was in the Revival series. And then they took M80 to 3 maps at Knockout Atlanta, beat Voca in the finals of the Eagle Masters. They beat Saw at Mega Jersey. And they were relatively competitive in the M80 series before that, although that was an 0-2 game as well, just like I wasn't. So Mars measuring is the point I'm making. Yep. Contrast as we're going to jump right into things. Here's the boss. Listen, Slight, it's the Renaissance era for Slight. I've said that like this year when I felt like that kind of started. It's continued to be that as we have gotten to the back end and heading into November. So, with B-Wills also playing relatively well, I feel like this is a team that's capable. It's just against those high tier opposition that they are really struggling.
It's strange, too, because these players have been strong against high-tier competition in the past, and it's been a complete stink show, honestly, in terms of the way things have been going for them. There's no other way to put it. Anyway, Grizz going to get the opener onto Darty, and then B-Wills does strike back. That's a bit of a messy engagement for Sixy, and you see that Boss have taken the space here towards the A site. Bomb going to get planted, and we've got a 4v4 on our hands. Chop waiting with the dualies. And Fruit Cup gets the headshot. Very nice. And this is a player that's actually struggled lately as well in my mind in Fruit Cup. So if he can shine, it'll be great. But Viz is the one who's the shining star right now. He gets 2, brings things back for Marsborne. Slight trying to hang on, gets 1, 2v2. They need to stick this defusal. They don't have the kit, and Grizz is making it a little bit easier. Finding Ben Leet, and Viz takes down Slight. Should be enough time for the defusal. Even with the full 10 seconds required. It is close. But they got it, Vincent.
They do, man, but a little closer than I was hoping for. Nice shot out of Grizz. I love that Grizz gets away there, too, and this recovery from Viz is simply superb. He can't afford to lose any more time in that. You saw how tight the defuse was at the end, and Marsborne will get her done as a victory in the pistol round. But we won't be seeing Boss let up the gas just yet. They're going to go for a force buy. They get the bomb down. So this is relatively expected. Yeah. I'm sure Marsborne going to anticipate that.
Yeah, and you're looking at, I was saying Fruit Cup not performing to his usual standards. He was that star player for Boss once upon a time, but he slipped to the 3rd position at 1.09 over the last 3 months. Anyway, we'll get back to that because Boss appears to want to play a very fast-paced game right now. Back and forth we go, and more forth towards Boss. 4v2 gained. Viz almost strung together 2 frags instantly. Throws the nade, and Grizz will take care of that. The 2 is doing work together. Side by side, moving towards long. Slight and Fruit Cup still standing on the bomb site.
They're just going to walk through this smoke. Kind of feels like that's the vibe right now. Slight not looking the right way, so the move is punished. But Fruit Cup alive, but not for long. It's exactly what you say. It's Fruit Cup struggling in comparison to Viz stepping up big time for this Marsborne roster to get them the clutch in the second round.
Yeah, and I'm wondering how the mood is right now on Boss as well. You know, they're winning games. It's not like they have a losing mentality because they are winning those games. As I mentioned, it's just that when they face off against these teams, I feel like they must be thinking, oh, here we go again. How are we going to find a way to win? We feel like we're getting overwhelmed or overpowered every single time. And that has to have an impact on you, even when you're getting the wins against lower run competition.
Yeah, I also think it's interesting. I wanted to comment. I say that we're going to get another force buy here. Maybe I'll hold that for an eco because still looking to invest somewhat despite all that. But I think just because of the bomb plant, they can get a little bit extra out. B-Will's investing more heavily. But what I was going to say is I think that this Fruit Cup, like, lesser performance over these last little bits, really since Ben Leeds come in, you know, he's a guy who hasn't really ever been under an in-game leader that is as methodical and structured as Ben Lead. You know, under Cryptic, I think Cryptic is a very good in-game leader, and I'm taking nothing away from him, but he does allow his pieces a lot of availability to maneuver and, you know, make moves on their own that I think Ben Lead is a little bit less willing to do.
Yeah.
So, and obviously Snab, the only other in-game leader that in recent times he was working under. So, and that's a very loose system as well.
Yes.
So I think that I'm theorizing fully could have something to do with it.
I think you're onto something there. Well, maybe also airburst mollies could have something to do with the struggles there. I don't know. But anyway, no, I'm kidding. But I agree with you. I think that definitely Cryptic gives more freedom. Snap for sure. Like he freewheels a lot. But a very good caller and stuff. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just a very different style of calling than compared to B-Wills, who is, I'd say he's strict in his system and he wants players to follow the protocol. And I think that is a detriment to Fruit Cup. Anyway, B-Will's going to get 3 here with just that Galil. This is not the full investment as you highlighted. And again, Boss have a man advantage in a post plant that is ripped away by Wolfie's nade. Viz moving in towards cave. B-Wills will fall. Uh-oh, it's happening again. B-Wills and Boss can't seem to hang on to the site, and it's all up to Ben Lead, who's still got the goose egg on the board in the first 2 rounds. He's going to need 2 big ones here to keep his team alive. And he only gets 1. In fact, he doesn't even get the 1. Wolfie gets a TK. So Ben Lead still has 0 frags, and the defusal comes through. That's wild.
But listen, on the upside, if I'm playing for the positive nature here.
Yes.
Boss have just done a great job of getting kills consistently. Oh, we've done them so dirty.
They show the replay in slow motion.
Oh my god. Anyway, the fact remains that they brought that down to 1v1s. They've made it very expensive for Marsborne. This is a 3-0 that definitely can be shut down literally right now. $0 on 3 players, or effectively 0. But this op for Slight, that's what I'm saying. It's those moves from Slight that I feel like I never saw beforehand that he's back to making. I love it.
Yeah, I think it's like Slight benefiting from Ben Lead and Fruit Cup the opposite. That's what's happened, I feel, and that's why the team is struggling to find their mojo against tougher competition. How does Grizz even get there without being spotted? Okay, finally he does get traded out by Darty. 3v2 in favor of Boss, which they've had for, I think, all 3 rounds so far. And it will get ripped away once more. Wolfie connects on the shot. There goes B-Wills. Slight and Darty still standing. And we'll see how this one goes in the post plant again.
Yeah, but Chop's already arrived. Wolfie maintaining position, but he's actually going to fall back. This allows Darty an opportunity to slide back over. Been spotted. Somehow, the headshot comes through, but Chop doesn't confirm the kill. Now, Darty in a very tough location, and Slight playing for the bomb. There's not going to be a whole lot left in this either. I think that's game over.
Maybe. Wolfie going in. Bomb taken away. Yeah, now it definitely is. So Wolfie's going to lose the op and his life. And finally, Boss strike true. So now that they've gotten that one across the line, I agree with you. The fact that Boss were so in these first 3 rounds and we're getting those frags and making it competitive, getting repeated bomb plants is good. But I've seen that happen before where, now they've converted one, but I've seen it happen before where they don't get the conversion. And then eventually they just fade into the distance and aren't able to really find anything. So it's good that they got that, but there's still more work to do against the Marsborne squad that is exceptionally resilient.
Yeah, and especially keeping in mind here, just to talk about some expectation, right? Marsborne, they're going to want to get a lot out of this.
What?
That's crazy. What? Criminal behavior. He's going to get another one. Slight goes down. I am, in fact, flabbergasted by what I just watched. What in the world? I can't believe it.
I think he did damage to them before they got out of the smoke, and then they stepped into the flames and didn't realize it. And
the nade did damage.
Oh, yes, the nade. You're right.
But, not that. Maybe it was a double molly.
I'm not sure.
I'd have to watch it back. It was. That is crazy.
I mean, I just feel for Boss because right after they had these 4 hard-fought rounds, they finally get the victory in the previous one, and then 2 players die in the molly and Chop decapitates Ben Lead at the end, and they get free upgrades for everyone in a round where it was a force buy, but still, now they have 4 players alive and their money is absolutely flowing. And on the other end, Boss probably feel like, they should have had way more wins on the board than they have, and they're staring at a 1-4 deficit. Okay, so it was 2 Molotovs there?
No, it was the big nade blinded, so they couldn't see that they were in the molly as well.
Well, either way, it was beautiful. Nice sequence of util.
Nade did max damage to both players. That is incredible work from Grizz. And I mean, I say that that's not the just traditional nade set. It is, but still, credit where it's due.
I mean, the sequence of it though was nice, right? It was timed perfectly.
No doubt. So instead of a 2-4 score line that allows Boss to get back in, now they're the ones who have to be on this half by pistol scenario. Big pain point.
6C. Haven't been saying his name much, but he's good for frags. Takes care of Ben Leach. Slight a nice one with the Deagle. And a couple of misses from Wolfie will put Grizz in a tough spot, but Grizz thrives in tough spots. Finds a couple before Fruit Cups takes care of him, but Fruit Cups the last one alive, and eventually he gets run down. 5-1 for Marsborne. And reminder, folks, this is Boss's map pick, so it's not looking good for them in the early goings of it. And Inferno has been an absolute smoke show for Marsborne. So I don't know how things are going to go there if Boss can't pick up this map.
Yeah, it's kind of tough for Boss. You were talking about the map pool and everything that Marsborne have. It sucks for Boss, especially in this matchup, because the 2 maps they really love, which are Ancient and Inferno.
Yes.
This is also the very top of the pool for Marsborne. And that is so frustrating. It's because you can't feel like you have a home ground in any of these matchups. Fruit Cup going to catch a nade, but Ben, great work for him to accelerate a little bit, get into position, and take Viz out of the equation. That's one mid angle that has been very effective.
I mean, and again, positives. Opening frags have been phenomenal on the side of Boss. I think they're probably 6 for 7 out of these first 6 rounds. So that's really, really good. It's just that they haven't been able to convert the advantages, except for that one round that they have on the board. We'll see if this one will go through in their favor. You still got 6E standing towards the B site. He can be a bit of a menace anchoring bomb sites. Wolfie with the AWP as well, and Chop on that rifle. 6E blocks the smoke. I don't know if that's going to make that much of a difference. Maybe he'll have a little more visibility around the left side of it, but as it stands, he's just fading away. And I'm going to hang around long B a little bit longer. Flashbang tossed. He's going to have a peek. Looking to do some damage. There's one. There's a second. 6E pulls it back to even numbers. Nade tossed out. It's a good one onto B-Wells. And then he finds the third, the fourth as well. 6E's on for the ace. Slight, the last one available, and now Wolfie's pincering in that direction. Sixy's got it, though. All 5 frags go his way as the IGL wrestles this round out of the hands of Boss.
And this is why I could not have told you that this would be how things would work for Marsborne under Sixy, because not only has the calling been good, but then Sixy as an individual has always been an incredible one, but he's still been capable of doing these types of things. Individually, he owns everyone. This bomb site is his and his alone. Wolfie's there for decoration. He's there just to look pretty. And it is incredible stuff out of Sixy that continues to impress me out of Marsborne.
Yeah, I mean, I remember in his debut with Marsborne, when I found out, it was at one of the NA Revival series, when I found out he was calling, I was like, are you joking me? He dropped 37 frags on Overpass in the first map he played with Marsborne. I was shocked. I'm like, really? He's calling too? And he's doing this individually? It's crazy. You don't have talents like this very often. And I never thought I'd be saying that. You know, I mean, I do think of Sixy as an incredibly good fragger. Not in that way. I meant as a talent, as an IGL that can frag. I never thought those words would come out of my mouth because it didn't feel like that was the trajectory he was taking. But apparently, he always wanted to IGL, which I didn't know. So that's really cool that he's finally had this opportunity, and Marsborne are the beneficiaries of it in every single way.
I mean, to add more to what you're saying there, it's like less than a year ago, he was leaving PA because he was like, I'm just not getting the roles I need to be the guy I want to be.
Yeah.
Right. And, you know, that's the way you have to think as a star player. I don't fault him at it for that whatsoever. But that's also not the vibe you're going to get about, you know, from a guy that's like, hey, I also want to be an IGL at some point. Mm-hmm. It's incredible.
Keeps going. I agree with you. But he's got another frag. Grizz takes care of Darty. And now I feel like that ace from Sixy has absolutely devastated Boss. Like, the wind is completely out of their sails. It's emboldened Marsborne to take more aggressive peaks. 4 of the 5 players finding a frag in this round. Chop, the only one not to get it. Maybe he gets it here against Slight. No, Sixy's the one hunting down ramp, and up to 10 frags now, only behind Grizz. And I think that's another benefit for Marsborne, is that every single player on this squad could be a star in their own right. And Wolfie has been in the past. Sixy, absolutely. Grizz, I enjoyed him when he played on Wildcard. I thought he was going to stay on that squad, but ended up not working out. But now he's found a home here on Marsborne. Viz, more of a supporting player, but lately, Vincent, like you were saying, he's absolutely popping off too. And Chop is more of that quiet guy who has that clutch potential. It's just a great combination of players that they put together here.
Yeah, clearly there was something there between him and Modem. I feel like Viz not quite able to find his footing initially.
Yeah.
Wolfie doesn't quite nail the shot the first try, but Sixy and Chop both hit theirs. And though Sixy's going to go down, the nade, double nade, in fact, is going to take out B-Wills, who got the bomb down prior to getting naded out. Darty, he's recovered a rifle, and that Deagle's still deadly. How about another out of Slight? He pulls back, and how about looking for a third? Though Darty will go down, so it's all up to Slight. Still, damage done, and so deadly with that Deagle. I was scared for Marsborne, but they do find a way to win again. And 8-1, they're starting to run away with it.
This is exactly what I saw last time, Vincent. In that Slight is performing so well right now, but the rest of the team isn't behind him, and it's so incredibly frustrating, honestly, to watch that after complaining about, well, not complaining, but pointing out Slight's inconsistency as an opper repeatedly and saying he needs to be consistent, he needs to come out and pop off for the squad. Now he is, but the rest of the squad has fallen off around him. So you're like, oh man, what does Slight have to do in these types of circumstances? But I want to say, Vincent, that it's only a matter of time before Boss is competitive against these squads, but how much time, right? Like, is it ever going to happen at this stage?
I mean, not to put a timeline on it for no reason, but, you know, if this isn't changed by, you know, next year early, they've got to do something different for sure.
Yeah.
And, you know, that might even be true looking towards that offseason. I only give it that type of timeline because, like you've highlighted a couple of times, you know, Binley, typically it's a longer timeline that he works on. It's a great trade. Unfortunately, Viz is so capable. A triple kill. His Slight gets tracked to the smoke. It is adding more fire to this Marsborne defense.
I think the only negative I can bring to Marsborne right now is they took yesterday's match too lightly against Mythic, and they didn't look tight enough when they were playing them. And that's the only thing that I felt was poor in their performance as of late. Outside of that, they've been a pretty solid team.
Can I give a counter?
What's that?
Can I give a counter?
Sure.
So them maybe not just taking this lightly. Hold on a moment. There's a bomb plant in this. Oh, but Darty's not looking for Viz. Anyway, I think that one thing for Marsborne is that they've come off of a crazy travel schedule.
Okay. 2
weeks ago, they were at DreamHack Atlanta running the knockout tournament. Then this past weekend, they were into the Ultra Mega Jersey event. Placed third, so a very deep run means that they were going to be there. Flew back Monday, played on Tuesday against Voca, and then played on Monday against Voca, then played on Tuesday against Mythic. They have been nonstop.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I can understand fatigue setting in, perhaps because of that point. But at the same time, I definitely felt there was an element of overconfidence yesterday, but stamina certainly can factor into it as well. It's just that when I compare Marsborne yesterday to Marsborne today against Boss, they look way more tight, way more composed, and everything is just like rolling along on all cylinders. Like they're taking their opponent a lot more seriously today than they were necessarily yesterday against Mythic. But you could be right. I could be overanalyzing, and maybe it's just a matter of fatigue as well.
A little bit of both, mayhaps.
Perhaps. Why not both?
Yeah. Oh my goodness, Grizz. Oh my gosh, wait, Slight, he saw him, but he doesn't see him. He doesn't open his eyes, and that is timing that's a little bit crazy. Benleet's still walking out A. All that utility maybe going to give it away, but they think this is going to A because of Benleet, but little do they know that the bomb's outside of B. This should be Boss's round. If this isn't Boss's round, then none of them will be.
I'm not convinced, Vincent. I don't know. I mean, Ben is still hanging around here, but he hasn't really done much in the last little bit. So now Chop's thinking, wait, what's happening? He is isolated with the Molotov. I think Ben will be flushed out. They have to know he's here, or they just forget about him. It's possible. Anyway, Ben is that snake in the grass. So you're right. This has to be it. He's got a freebie here, without a doubt. Maybe two. There's one. There's the second. It's done. It's over. Boss do indeed have a second round. Now I believe, not that it's pretty much over, as Benleet is the key to their success. And those are the types of rounds that you... Were you going to say something, sorry?
I thought for a second Grizz was getting silly, but he doesn't have a kit.
Okay. No, I was just going to say, like, those are the types of rounds that make me say that's what Boss is capable of. That type of strategic maneuverability around the map. Benleet using his big brain, coming out there, getting a beautiful fake executed all by his lonesome, attracting all the attention, and then staying alive in the back lines, not overcommitting himself, and finding two, preventing Marsborne from ever activating. Those rounds give me the hope that this Boss squad can be competitive at the high end again, but it just isn't happening often enough.
There's a lot of criticisms that you could probably level at Benleet for individual performances. There is very few that you could level at him fairly when you're talking about his decision making when he's like on alert like that.
Absolutely.
It's near perfection very often.
No, I agree. I'm 100% with you. B-Wills will get an opener here. Viz gone, but look at the damage. Look at the health for B-Wills and Benleet. Like, they are absolutely walking wounded here and need to be careful on their approaches, because even a little bit of smoke spam, like right there from Donut, could have led to a death. It doesn't, but that will lead to a death. Fruit Cup tries to pop out and deal with Chop, and he won't be able to, but he does do a lot. Excuse me, he was trying to deal with Sixy, but Chop was supporting Sixy to take care of it. Sixy waiting at CT. Oh, excuse me, Grizz. I didn't think Grizz was going to survive that at all, but he gets one, which is phenomenal. Now a 3v3, and two of the surviving players for Boss are very low, but at least they get Sixy to give themselves a man edge here in the post plant.
Wolfie worried about Benleet. He was obviously last seen on shelf. Wolfie dealing with the smoke in the meantime. Chop walks it up on the temple side. Everybody either towards Donut, and now Benleet making a rotation towards main. There's no smokes, but is an incendiary here if Wolfie can get it into the position. Chop has one flashbang, tapping the bomb, First is theirs, but nice work from Slight, who doesn't realize Chalk so utterly close. Slight working magic on the rifle as well. It's good work as Boss will find a way to at least get something on the first half. We'll head to a break, and when we return, get that second half going.
Sometimes you gotta pray for a victory. Yeah, I'm overzealous when I'm thinking about the cash flow. I never had no handouts, just came natural. I've been tested so much, all these wrestlers nice. All these different situations that I've been through. I seen pain trying to creep in through the window, but now I'm sliding through the hood in a benzo. You gotta separate yourself just to elevate. I keep some drink in my cup to see through the hate. Sometimes on the road to glory, you gotta press the brakes. I got a lesson plan for all my past mistakes. I swear I'm proud of all my best and my worst days. Proud of all my feet when I touch the ground. Front of 8 at Beijing, man, they know the sound. I know I made mistakes, but my mama proud. Fans scream my lyrics out in the background. They ain't know me then, but I'm hot now. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. Life down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. I'm faced with a lot of different choices these days. Do a rock and roll Lex account of Blueface. The whole world know my name off a mixtape. I still got the same brother since 6th grade. G-Wagon red seats, we on Biscayne. Trips to the Florida Keys, we imported these. Thanking God for the life he afforded me. All this jewelry on my body, I could light the hood. I need a brown skinned chick just like Megan Good. Holding up every promise that I ever made. Music in the background, it's a serenade. Been rapping 10 years, boy, this ain't a phase. I paid dues, paid rent, and I stayed the same. I had teardrops running down my face. I've been through a lot, I had real pain. But thank God, cause we really on a better days. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life.
All right, we're back with the second half of action. A mini resurgence at the end of that first half for Boss, you know, powered by a nice play from Ben Lead and continually good play from Slight throughout the entirety of it, which eventually led to some round victories, but it's still a pretty big deficit that they're staring down at going to the second half.
No doubt. A little bit tougher side, though, for Marsborne. Certainly not nearly as successful on their T side than the CT. Viz making a liar out of me. That's the one player who was towards A. This B side might still work out, though.
It could. Evil's waiting. Oh, traded out immediately. That's not going to help Boss's case. Fruit Cup, while blinded, still firing away, and eventually Ben comes out with a big play. Individually shining here. Viz, his former teammate on the Party Astronauts, looking to come out and make some noise, but Ben puts him down. Says, sit down, sir. I know your tricks. 3K for Ben. Lead and Boss are on the board in the pistol.
I mean, I'll call it a little bit fortunate. They get the right bomb site, a little bit of a coin flip with the 4-1, but they can deliver, and that's the huge surprise that gives them that advantage. I mean, Bentley going unchecked because they've already killed a Cave player. They're already taking contact at long. They're not expecting to see another guy there, especially not when they're hearing players short as well. It won't even be a big deal for a force buy, or at least it shouldn't be. Oh my nade, that is incredible damage. Chop will at least get 1 kill, but he's not going to get much more. And Wolfie is dead soon.
Yeah, not the force buy that Marsborne were hoping for. And there they go. Slight takes care of that. 2 for him, 3 for Fruit Cup, full house amongst them. And Boss do indeed convert off of the pistol and likely will find themselves a 6th. The question becomes, can they keep it up once the guns go into Marsborne's hands? We'll have to wait one more round to find out.
Oh no. Not a fan, personally, of this full force. I mean,
ooh,
they put all the money in. I mean, there's a few $100s left, but that ain't gonna do much for you.
I'm surprised they call this.
Me too.
A little unorthodox. Well, 60's been known to make some riskier calls. Let's see if it pans out for them. So far, they managed to... Oh, no, they haven't. Not at all. I was going to say they managed to get to the site, but Ben Lee ventilates them. And now it's only Wolfie, and the result is pretty much exactly the same as the previous round. That's not a great call from Marsborne. And now they will be on a half buy here. Still can't get the rifles out. Interesting.
No bomb plants, 2 force buys.
Yeah,
that's a really ambitious strategy that is not going to be the norm. At least now they can legitimately afford some of these extra pistols and the Kevlar across a couple of individuals. It's a small solace considering the scoreline, or rather the gap here, significantly going to be lessened by the time we get a first gun round for Marsborne's T side. And that just ramps up the pressure. I mean, I know we've been talking about Boss needing to show out on that gun round, but, you know, Marsborne with all those force buys really building up to something. They got to show off. So, I'm saying that. Chris has gotten a kill in mid.
C, the beneficiary of that kill, picks up the A1S off the ground. Fruit Cup and B-Balls are going for aggression. Kind of like it. See what happens here. Oh, Wolfie finds one, but gets a TK and then falls himself. Darty will swing around. They're not ready for that either. Chop the last one available, and Darty will deliver. 3K for him. Boss have found themselves a 7th, even though Marsborne started to threaten in that half buy.
Yeah, but I think ultimately Boss not all that threatened, because the 2 prior rounds that were force buys, only 1 man going down in both of those, means that the damage caused by that, not that big a deal, especially when Darty's building up to a 10k balance at current. Wolfie on an op. As I was saying, though, now there's a lot of pressure Marsborne have put on themselves to win this round. These nades down ramp have done so much damage, like collectively, just a ton. Mid control for Boss. Work their way towards elbow, and Slight, he's on a line here that's quite aggressive, but if he swings into Wolfie, Wolfie has him dead for sure.
Wolfie might have me if he goes around. Oh, he's swinging into Wolfie. Oh, what? How does he hit? He must have had a superior angle, because Wolfie doesn't see him at all, and he gets the shot. That's really nice for Slight. Another opener for Boss, and I already talked about it. You know, in that first half, they had more opening frags than Marsborne did, so it was surprising to see that they were the ones on the losing end for the majority of the time. Darty finding his rhythm as well on the CT side, and all of a sudden, the holes are showing in the calling here for Marsborne. For whatever reason, 6y taking too many chances, overconfidence seemingly getting to him. As Chop is now the last one available, Boss have barely looked troubled at all here on CT side, and there they go, a clean round now, the first one in this half, where they haven't lost a single player, and it was up against the bye round.
Yeah, I really think that this comes down to Marsborne not being very creative with how they're approaching this, and all the force buying. You know, this isn't that big a deal if this is the first gun round and it's in round 2 or 3, but it's happening in like round 4 or 5, and that's a problem. Can't be seeing that. And as we get round 18 started, this is going to be another halvesies type of approach with Grizz buying a little bit more to get a Galil. Viz and Grizz, actually. Both having these Galils, which does give a significant threat to this round.
Yes, it does. But how sharp will their teeth be as they try to chomp down on Boss and get another round on the board, keep their lead, prevent Boss from tying things up? It would be 6 rounds in a row for Boss to get to this point, because it was 9-3 at the half and everything was looking peachy keen for Marsborne. Now they're wondering if they can even make an impact on this second half of action. Ben Leet over in Donut. Won't have to do anything in that duel. Darty takes care of it, but now Ben forced to throw the smoke. They know he's here. They've got to be spamming this aggressively, and they do. Ben falls. Grizz gets slight as well. The Galil does strike here, Vincent, for 2 frags. Fruit Cup and B-Will's the last 2 available.
Normally, I'd argue for a potential save, but they've got some weaponry, and they've got money as well. Fruit Cup sticking this, but now he's dinged. Surely going to walk away at that point. But now 60's got him. Dead and gone, Marsborne. Steal an unlikely round, courtesy of Grizz. Great stuff. And, I mean, that's why it's important when you have the loss bonus going for you, just to, get some opportunities with a couple of upgrades. Worthwhile, worth their weight in golden, if you will.
And finally, a round on the board here in this second half for Marsborne. They get a 10th in the more unlikely round where they only half invested. Now it'll be both teams with full buys. Darty getting aggressive going into this fight. Grizz not really expecting it, and Darty wins it as a result of 5v4 in favor of Boss. And they will not press the issue any further. They've got what they wanted, and they fall back towards the bomb sites.
I think the next phase of this round is really telling. That's where, for me, Marsborne have been struggling. We haven't yet seen this where they're able to refocus. 60, it's a huge shadow advantage for Darty in that duel. And now you're really reliant on Chop to find success here in the lurk through mid. Or Wolfie and Viz to do something heroic, but that's seeming unlikely.
Wolfie gets 1, but I mean, how much is that going to lead to? Because he's probably losing Chop in just a moment. He's walking into a slaughter. Yeah, he does get 1, but yeah, there were 2 other players there. Slight takes care of it. Wolfie, the last one available, 1v3 required, and he can't even get the first. Slight will take care of it, and Boss are right back to their winning ways. Marsborne do have enough money to buy up again here, but this one is surprisingly going to go down to the wire.
I really just feel like this half is mismanaged by Marsborne, top to bottom. They have given themselves so few opportunities, and as much as that round, really courtesy of Grizz, is stolen away. I mean, the next round, it's disjointed through a main, like everybody's disconnected from each other. Wolfie trying to pull what Slight did at the beginning of this map, but it's only going to be 1 or 2. He wills Fruit Cup, push down B, and Marsborne picked apart. Literally nothing is going correctly for them. And to be honest, if they can't fight aggressively, they've got to give it up and then play to retake these areas rather than just getting demolished on the inbound.
Yep, this is another round trending the way of Boss. Grizz moves in to take the space afforded to him in lane. They still got time for Marsborne. That's the benefit. And they have pulled back the man disadvantages on CT side. Now they're trying to do it here on T side. Technically a 2v2 headed to B. If they can get these frags cleanly without losing a body, then it'll look a lot more promising for Marsborne, but that's easier said than done. Wolfie spotted out, takes a little bit of damage, but it's almost enough to frag him. Grizz does get one onto Fruit Cup, and now a little bit risky for B-Wills to hang around. The util sails in. This could at least be a bomb plant.
If he's got the bomb, great shot out of Grizz. Hold on a moment. That's the op that was holding the line. Nade's gonna go in, but it's a little too early. Wolfie hits the shot. B-Wills is here. And he's got the read. He knows where Grizz is located. Push it all the way up as Grizz does the damage again. He's got it when they need it most. Marsborne taking rounds on this T side, all thanks to Grizz, and this one with Wolfie in tow.
That's unbelievable from Grizz, honestly. And you see him moving in there in a 2v4. It looks unlikely at best. And he manages to get the couple of clean ones I was talking about to lead them to victory. Absolutely, again, devastating round for Boss. Right when they look like things are coming together and they'll be able to maybe make a fight of it here on Ancient, they lose that one, and it's 11-9. Money is okay. I mean, it's good. It's good, right? They've got 3 M4s and an AWP with full util on pretty much 4 out of the 5 players. With Ben Lead having to settle for FAMAS, that's not that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things. But still, if Boss were to lose this round, their money's completely shot. You know, and now then it's going to be 12-9 for Marsborne in a situation where it'll likely end up going their way. And Fruit Cup has crashed, so we'll have to wait for him to rejoin the server.
Nice.
Oh, that was fast. That was good. Okay. Welcome back, Fruit Cup. It's like he was never gone.
Yeah, just a little restart on the client, more than likely.
Yeah, I think so.
The Boss was attack pause there as well, just keep in mind. So, able to talk things over, get a conversation going. I don't know, is anybody in the coach slot for Boss?
I don't believe so.
No one's listed on HL.
No.
I'm going to go with no.
No, it's not on Liquipedia either. I don't believe there's a coach right now.
That's usually a good couple of sources.
The last coach they had was Warden in February.
Yeah, that was a while.
That was with like the Blue Jays core, I believe. Like that's now the Blue Jays core. So, or wait,
Correct.
they were they became Getting Info. There were a lot of changes in North America in terms of organizations, but this current Boss this current iteration of Boss does not have a coach.
A little bit of a confusing start to this round, but ultimately, Grizz able to refrag over in mid, and oh my gosh, Viz, are you kidding me? It's insanity. Lines him up twofold. Slight's just arrived, but he's dead to rights. His chop gets him off the flashbang, and Binleet's lurk is leveled by Grizz. 12-9. It's unlikely ways that Marsborne are fighting to win.
It's unbelievable. You know, just the panel spam and he gets 2, and this is the Viz we were highlighting and talking about before this one got started. A player that's been revitalized, re-energized. I thought his career was over, to be quite honest, when he first joined up with this Marsborne squad, because it really wasn't clicking. I'm like, I don't know how much Viz has left in him. This might be the twilight of his career, but this resurgence is unbelievable. And I mean, I'm happy for him. I think Viz has always taken the tough roles. It's never been an easy path for him throughout his career. So to see him shining like this is fantastic. And we do have another tech pause being called as now Slight has disconnected from the server. But either way, Marsborne, when they look good, when they hit that ceiling, they look kind of untouchable.
It's true. And man, I feel like you were plucking the thoughts right out of my head there. That's exactly how I was feeling about Viz, unfortunately, like when he joined this team. So what I was saying when I was talking about like the sort of disconnect between like what Modem wanted to do and what Viz was meant to be doing, it just didn't feel like it clicked in any possible way. Yeah. And yet I really wasn't sure. I was actually, cards on the table when I heard pretty early that 60 was the one coming into this team, and I honest and truthfully thought it was for Viz. I thought, that could make a lot of sense. And I think it could have, but absolutely Modem was also struggling a little bit because I think of that, that disconnect that we were just talking about. And 60 coming in as IGL wasn't on my bingo card, but happy to see it.
Yes, sir. The player that Passion UA did not want has now found a new home with Marsborne, and maybe he's going to be beating up on Passion UA eventually if this keeps up, but we'll have to wait and see. 60. I'm sure he would love that rematch as well. Like, that would light a fire in him. Anyway, B-Wills and the rest of Boss are on what is a force buy, of course, because they can't afford to save. They've got to go for it, and it's not going well. It will be Grizz and 60 taking care of business. Darty and Benley, the last two standing, only 2 HP for Ben, and he walks out right into Viz's crosshair. Unbeknownst to him, this map looks like it's over.
Yeah, Boss putting up a scary good CT side, to be honest with you. But you got some of these individuals just stepping up. Darty's going to give this his best shot. Smoke for Game Ender. And there's actually a re-smoke here too. And that's going to mean Darty's just going to send it in. Chop will put him down. And so with that, a victory solidified for Marsborne on map number 1. Like I was saying, I think Boss put up a pretty good CT side. A lot better than I was anticipating. But Grizz just would not lose, refused to go down in the late stages of that half.
Yeah, no, it's honestly, I feel like Boss were able to build off the pistol round really effectively, had some convincing rounds in the mix, but once that eco round comes through for Marsborne, right, once they are successful there, that's when it really starts to fall off the rails again for Boss, and Marsborne claw their way back into it and just don't look back, especially once they regain control in that 4v2 scenario. Nah, that was the final blow on the Boss side that they just couldn't make work anymore. And I appreciate that boost, by the way. I didn't see that earlier on. Anyway, we are going to head to the next map of play. That will be Inferno, a very dominant map for Marsborne, but we're going to have to wait until after this break to get there.
This is a shakedown. Order up that beat just like a takeout. Show me you got soul inside those new shoes, and you can rock and roll with an attitude. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. You're the new MC, you got the remix. Keep it on repeat, just let the beat kick. Everywhere you go, you bring the roof down. Everybody knows you got your own sound. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. Feet. Show me you got soul. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Feet, this is a shakedown.
Inferno up next here. It's Marsborne ahead of Boss in a matchup we've seen before, John. But listen, Boss, I want to give them some credit. I think they looked pretty decent on the second half of Ancient. And Inferno, historically, certainly been a position where Boss can get a lot done. Been elite teams in general. Been very good on this map. What do you give them chances-wise if you were to put some numbers to it?
Oh, I'm going to say 25% chance of victory for Boss. I think there's a possibility of it based upon, some good performances on Ancient. But I just, again, I look at the teams that they're beating here, and there's no teams that are really that impressive, I would say. And then when you look at the ones that are, it's losses, and I think one of them was to Lag in October. I don't even know if that's the stronger Lag squad that had Wolf. Okay, that was when Wolf was there. Understandable. That was a strong, that was a time when Lag were actually trending upwards. So, and then Wildcard, a loss. Their other loss to Marsborne back in August, I think it was, 9-13, and of course lost to Marsborne recently, 6-13. So, I just don't feel like their odds are very good at finding success here, given that they've already lost to Marsborne twice, and I don't think that much has changed in, 2 weeks, not even. So, yeah. And also Marsborne are 21-5 here.
Sorry, was muted. Trolling, of course.
Yeah.
A map though that for me went under the radar for Marsborne for a little while was this Inferno, but they quietly improved it, and then they built up this absurd, impressive win rate and percentage on it.
Beating.
And indeed, the teams they're beating here have been just absurdly good. And here's the other thing for me. On this Inferno, I think you get a lot out of this rifling core. We've gotten a lot from Viz consistently. I think this was one of the maps where I feel like first he, was finding it. Their only losses in the last 2-3 weeks is to M80, and that one was close, and they beat M80 on this map.
They did.
Back in Atlanta. So I am very impressed with what they've been doing, and it's hard to argue with the reality. The other side of that too is it's doesn't matter where they start, CT side, T side, they're still hanging out.
I think what's even more impressive is this is not an Oppers map, right? And when Wolfie was calling on Inferno, it wasn't actually that good. It's when Sixy joined the squad that it improved a lot. And I think another benefit was Wolfie runs the op on T side as well. And you might say, oh, that could be a weakness. It's tough on Inferno. It's not for him. He's so dynamic and he's been so effective in that role. You look at his rating, let's say over the last 3 months, right? Not on any particular map. It's sitting on 1.15, still really good, but not star power rating there. But on Inferno, 1.38 rating, and on CT side it's a 1.59. But I think what's more impressive is he's opping on T side with a 1.22 rating. That's really, really good on Inferno, and I think that's a big reason why they've had so much success here.
Those numbers are absurd, but let me paint the picture from a stylistic point of view, right? Wolfie, I think, has consistently been at his best in some of those close range combat opping scenarios that Inferno really lends itself to. It's very uncomfortable for most oppers. It's not easy, and you get punished very quickly, as you and I have seen many a time. Yes. But Wolfie, he really thrives in that. I think that's part of the reason why he's been having that type of success. Anyway, we're going to jump into the action. We're going to see what this can look like. Boss will start onto a CT side at least, which should be a nice asset. Still, an uphill battle.
Indeed it will be. Indeed it will be. And I mean, the numbers are actually pretty promising for Boss, and we'll get back to it. Darty gonna go find 1-2. That was really labored. Oh, and 3 right on back for Marsborne. 6, finding 2. Chop with 1. What an explosive play from Sixy. And that divides up the forces for Boss entirely. They only have 1 player on each side, so... Well, actually, they only have 1 player, period, now, because Brew Cup gets erased by Sixy, who continues to have some fantastic individual form.
Yeah, it's hard to plan for that. Marsborne, it looked like they were just fully accelerating. I don't really blame Boss for getting so aggressive, like pushing down. The only question mark about that was, I think there was still a smoke up bottom banana at that time. That's the only part that is a little bit more weird to me. Nonetheless, you see, I mean, we saw what Darty saw, like 4 players sprinting up mid, and you know, you're gonna make that rotation. Boss just not prepared for Marsborne. 6E just watching and waiting. Free and clear, A bomb site taken, and Slight. I was gonna say, I wouldn't be surprised if he just walked this one back, and pretty much gonna be doing that.
I mean, he doesn't even have armor to save, though. I mean, just a flashbang, I guess it's $300 and useful for the next round, but getting kills is way more valuable at this stage. So just go for it. And yeah, he does get one.
What if he gets both?
Then it's better.
Easy. Kind of what it's looking like. Grab a free kill and save that flashbang. But yeah, I mean, look at what Darty saw. There really wasn't like a misrotation there. Just Boss tag teaming down Banana. Can't get the trade frag. Shout out 60 on that one. Ooh, this is a force buy that I'm always a little bit uncomfortable with on Inferno. Not that it can be ineffective, it's actually very effective on this map. But it is so hard if it doesn't go well to build into your economy. It takes you so much extra time.
Yeah, and it's already a little scary because you see that Marsborne are just pedal to the metal towards top banana. They've gained the space. They've isolated these boss players. Naded Ben Lee down to 30 HP. They don't know it yet, but they are just going to peer over the top of the smoke. I like the boost because it catches the player going coffins completely off guard if they go around this corner because they know that the smoke is up, so they think they're safe. And they probably still think they're safe now too because that re-smoke is forward. Fruit Cup not going to show face though. They're being very cautious about this. Eventually, you think they're going to try for it. Chop just going to throw the smoke, and there we go. 6E does eventually collect on the boost, and I believe they could just rotate off of this and bait that they're going to hit the site. They're just going to...
They've got their... Yeah. They've got whatever they want to do, basically. Yeah. Set in stone here. Inley comes through the smoke. Fruit Cup tries to swing from Coffin side. Neither of those are going quite well. Slight. Darty gonna sit on their laurels here to save what they've got, though that's no guarantee. Look at how far Chop is. Ford ready to go. Nobody hunting them CT just yet, but Darty's been heard and maybe even seen based on what Chop's doing. Oh, absolutely seen. And there it is. Nobody's gonna get out. Darty claims an extra kill, but there is no additions there for Boss. Gonna have to, not full save, there's some upgrade potential for them, at least on some extra pistols, but it's not by a lot.
Yep. Boss, Darty sold the Deagle, went to a 5.7 instead with a bit of util. So you got one Deagle, 157, and the rest USPs. Not much for Boss to work with, but I've seen teams win with less. 143 on the clock. Nice nade at the very least. The only one that Boss had in their hands, and it gets hit 60 down to 62.
60?
I know, I as I said it, I'm like, yeah. But Bomb going to be corralled here, and they're just going to go B again. Nothing too complicated.
I will say that for sure. I was going to say potentially mistake. There's a lot of resistance here, but Prison 60 handling pretty easily. Don't overlook this USP in dark, and it won't. Well done.
Bomb has been planted.
Clear and simple. Access to the bomb site, overwhelming. Now it's just a matter of not losing too much.
I mean, I would just leave the MAC-10 behind to take care of the last two players. Darty's got a nice blue gem 5.7, but that won't help him here. Chris is going to take care of it. And that will be the round in favor of Marsborne. 3-0 lead. This start is looking just as promising as their previous one on Ancient did, but I think it's even scarier for Boss because they know what Marsborne are capable of here and how dominant their wins have been. If you look at the last 8, 6 of them have been wins that have featured a 13-6 win margin. Win margin in terms of how many rounds they are getting compared to their opponents or less, right? So 6 rounds or less their opponents are getting on this map in those affairs. So it's scary if you're Boss.
Particularly impressive when the stat line extends to like 8 matches, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, last time they played. No, the last 8 times.
Yes.
This is what we're looking at. Ooh, Chop gonna get tagged initially. Darty hands a headshot out. Ensures that Chop not going to make his escape. Ooh, Slight has missed the margin. Very scary, but Fruit Cup handling business. Somehow Slight's gonna get away from that. With that, Marsborne have to rethink exactly how they want to move.
Yeah, a little bit of a messy start here for Marsborne. Grizz will be thinking about peeking towards Moto, but instead just throws the flashbang and fades off. They're hoping that that's enough to draw rotations, but it's absolutely not. I say that, and then Ben looked like he was going to, but he's back towards B. They have a couple of smokes, so they can throw one for Coffins, one for CT, and try their luck on B, or try to take contact. That's another option. Ben Lee turns away from the flash. They don't overlook him. There's one gone. B-Wills finds the trade. Now he'll fade off into Church and can see the bomb plant. Really? Okay, 4v2.
I actually think that's the right call. Keep these numbers even, but now into backhaul are Marsborne, a very defendable position that they've just added an additional defense as B-Wills goes down. It's a big nade to pick up for Fruit Cup. Wolfie up ahead of it. One man burning, so Wolfie eats the last man standing. Both coming from the same direction. Wolfie defends, but oh my goodness, was it close. Slight collects with an op in hand. He is going to send Boss into a final victory. At least finally pick up a victory. That's what I meant to say.
Still concerning for Boss because, you know, it's another 2v4. We saw a lot of those situations where they had 2-man advantages on Ancient that were slipping through their fingertips, and right there it almost happens again. Wolfie on the rifle, right? Looking pretty potent, but now he's got the AWP in his hands, and technically that was the quote-unquote bonus round for Boss because now they're bringing the heavy hitters into play. Full util, 4 AKs, and as mentioned, Wolfie on the big green. Slight throws the flashbang, a pop flash for himself to peek around the corner. Oh, he had the lineup and everything, but that one goes through the wall, I guess. I'm not even sure what happened because Wolfie doesn't take that much damage, and at the end of it, Boss are on the receiving end of way more than they deliver.
Wolfie, he's made such a quick move to get to position for Darty. He's having no inkling that there's a world in which he's going to be swinging into an op after the op is just taking contact at Banana. A huge surprise. And so that damage, non-factor in that fight, but taking a hit, but hitting back. He's smacking him down. Thankfully, B-Wills trades. In the meantime, the rest of the team for Marsborne targets at B. And Bentley, 29 HP. Just doesn't seem like enough. I'm doing the math, and there's a lot to do in defense.
I don't think he gets more than one. Yeah, not even one. Grizz takes care of that. B-Will strikes immediately, though, so that'll put a little bit of fear in their hearts, but Chop, he doesn't know what fear is. He just charges out and takes the fight with B-Wills, finds that, and 6E, a little bit of fortunate spam through that smoke, takes care of the last. Marsborne, right after losing one, looked just fairly comfortable in the next in another round victory.
Very happy with the opening engagements there. I think the only thing you could talk about, I wouldn't even call it a miss for Slight, just not quite able to lock down the win in that fight. But Wolfie, it's his swiftness, and it's kind of the vibes I was talking about with regard to like the combat opping. Him just making these really fast adjustments, getting into good positions, and getting into different positions with such speed that his opponents are just flabbergasted. They don't know what's going on. That's a good example of it right there. I think we lost Fruit Cup momentarily. At least that's what I saw in the kill feed. But he's back.
He's back.
This is also attack pause. So, Boss looking to try and talk things over, but to be honest with you, we haven't seen a whole lot from them yet. This B site seems undefendable.
Yeah. Yeah, it's looking tough. It's not easy for them. Still a lot of time left to recover. But you just feel like, given what happened on Ancient and the way Boss are playing, 6C looking like a star fragger and calling at the same time.
What? This is a flash lineup, no?
I thought so. Oh, it's a smoke pop lineup. Okay. I like that.
That's also the flash lineup, I'm pretty sure. Or something very close to it.
You might be right. I think they're very similar just because it just works out to break through that smoke and give visibility to your teammates. That Molotov's going to be a little difficult for Ben to deal with. Actually, not that deep, so he's able to survive. Oh. They may overlook this position because of that, but it's only one player. No way, 6C. I mean, he is so diligent on that clear. I thought he would just be like, all right, let's keep going. The Molotov was thrown, but they must have realized it wasn't deep enough. And yeah, that's the round. It's already done.
It pays to pay attention to those details and double check, especially on an eco round like that. It's something that, a lot of experience, right, that 6C brings to, ultimately a really experienced team at this point now as well. It's only Grizz who is the, young. To call him inexperienced is unfair, but in comparison, inexperienced piece. Another op for Slight. But not feeling all that confident about Boss's chances as this T side is off to a roaring beginning. 3B early on the Boss side. Slight's included in that for the time being. Despite those 3B, they're very passive this setup.
Yeah. Well, they're getting more aggressive now. Oh, the shot again going wide. This is not good. Another missed one from Slight, and now he has to fall back. Whoa! Line up through the half wall. 6, walks into it. He's regretting taking that pathing. Grizz makes up for it with the trade, but Slight, after missing all the ones you thought he'd hit, hits one through the wall. And, does manage to survive. He heads back to A, though, and this is problematic because they've been abusing B repeatedly. I'm surprised they make this call. Ben on an island is not what you want to see. He does get the first. The second as well. Okay. Ben delivering, and now a 4v2 and a 4v1 for Boss. Wolfie, the last one available with his combat op.
I was going to say, what the heck is that spacing? But I realized it was Wolfie, the last man standing there. Walking that up with the op would have been very difficult to do. Yeah, just a little bit of an interesting rotation there for Boss. I'm with you. I thought that might have been their undoing, but Ben, who was sitting on the goose egg up until this point, provides a double kill of great importance to keep Boss into the mix, and Wolfie's going to be saving this thing if he can. Fruit Cup's on the prowl, as is Benley. I think Wolfie should be able to get out of there.
Yeah.
Gonna hang out in Broom.
Yeah, tucking yourself in Broom in that situation is a pretty good call because there's so little time left and they won't be able to see if you peek around. But that's going back to that shot from Slight is so critical because it kind of neuters neuters Marsborne in their attempt to go up towards Banana, and afterwards, although I think bad rotation is made from Boss, Ben Lee finally is able to collect a couple of frags and secure the round in their favor. That being said, last time Boss got around, Marsborne struck right back and decimated them in the following. Let's see if that happens again. 6 wants to go fast, but he will eventually have to fade off and doesn't take that much damage from the nade because he was sprinting away from Banana.
Yeah, for such an aggressive attempted move, I think he actually gets away with not a lot of damage done, considering. Credit to his movement and also the way in which they approach that. Jump into bracket control. Needs to be trade, but Fruit Cup will not be touched. He's got B-Wills right next to him. Good for 3 is Fruit Cup as B-Wills tracks the final man through smoke. Wolfie pays the heavy price. And there's money for Marsborne to buy one more time if they would like to. But this is absolutely a turning point for Boss.
Yeah.
If they can win this last round, the round to break Marsborne's economy, they're right back in business.
Last time they were only able to get 6 rounds against Marsborne, and it started off at an 8-1 scoreline in favor of Marsborne before Boss were able to string together 3 rounds in a row at the end of the half to make it a little bit closer. But, you know, the most they ended up getting was 6. And in the previous engagement back in August, it was 9 rounds that they got before falling by the wayside. So we'll see what we get here. They've got the experience against Marsborne. They know what they bring to the table. I think the question becomes, do they have enough in the tank and firepower-wise to deal with what Marsborne are going to be throwing their way? And it does feel like 60's calling a more aggressive style today, simplified in some ways, but also, you know, when they go for the fights and win them, it becomes very difficult. It's like a snowball effect as they move forward.
Yeah, I mean, looking back, even that August match would have presumably been not with 60 even. So this is
yes, that's right.
Not going to.
That's with Mata. You're right.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Point being, a tough matchup even prior to the 60 iteration has only gotten tougher since he's come in. Chop taking a lot of liberties to get some control of the apartments. It's late. Marsborne finally testing the waters there towards Banana with some flashbangs, but they get a little vision on a resmoke that comes down on the bottom of Banana. That's going to stall them out temporarily. Bentley making the move. They've left Slight all alone there at the bottom of B. It's a 4-stack day. Bracket control next on the docket for Marsborne.
Pieces are here for Boss. Oh, this boost could be pretty powerful. If they can figure it out. No, they don't. They just give up. It's not working out. Let's give up on that. Go for the peaks. Viz hits the headshot. Fades around the corner. And then the spam works out for Wolfie as Viz does some damage. Darty only gets one before he gets wiped off of the rooftop. And Fruit Cup falls as well. And there's that dominance from Marsborne we were talking about. When they just explode and win the opening duels, it becomes very difficult for Boss to respond. Slight now the last one available, but he's not even in the picture. This will just be a save.
There is his attention to detail with regard to like double, triple checking. They've already killed 2 arch side at that point, but and the fact that they've killed somebody on the mini pit side, but yet still Grizz going to double check that mini proper after they killed somebody who was on balcony, technically, is where the other guy was, but still, wait. I was going to be blown away. He didn't have time.
Yeah.
But like...
Now he lost the op. Like, what?
Well, he thought he was getting a ninja defuse.
Yeah. And yeah. That was an interesting...
I mean, credit, he almost had it. It was really close.
Yeah, he was. Gave it a good effort at the very least, but I mean, look, there's still money for him to buy the op in this round anyway, so I suppose it's fine. But yeah. 60 along with Grizz eating the nades at the beginning of this round. Nice damage for Boss. They'll toss another one, and well, 60 and Grizz are not in the vicinity.
As good as that early nade damage and utility was for Boss, they really don't have a whole lot to work off of. Probably going to make B-Will's life miserable, and of course Grizz has heard all of that. It feels really odd that they're committing B-Wills there, but Binley's not going with him.
Right. Ben's really been anchoring this site down pretty passively. He hasn't been that aggressive down. Banana only gets one there. I don't feel like that's enough. Fruit Cup going to go for the spam, you'd imagine. And that just wide of the mark. Could have been a frag there that would made them feel more comfortable going for a retake, but given the positioning of everyone here, a save makes more sense, not to mention the economy.
Yeah, sad to see it happen that way, but I'm in agreement.
Yeah.
Never cheering for save Counter-Strike.
No, but that's what Inferno brings us, isn't it?
It is very much. But this has been an exciting Inferno nonetheless, to be fair.
True.
A lot of proactivity. Again, this B-side has just been such an impactful place for Marsborne. They can constantly win on these executes. And I really feel like it's been because of how consistent the B-sites or the B-site players have been picked apart individually, right? B-Wills constantly gets isolated. Then it's mostly been late there, and there's been a lot of gambles towards A as well. Those aren't necessarily bad reads by default, but when bin lead is not very regularly going to be able to offer up a multi-kill defense, that puts B under some really tough positions.
It's interesting as well because I've seen Ben in the past be aggressive down Banana, and it's worked. Like, he had one of his best performances on the map where he goes for a nice shot from Slight to open things up, but what I was going to say was just he's had some of his best performances on Inferno with that aggressive mindset, so it's surprising to see him stand back here. Oh boy, Fruit Cup overcommits. He gets caught in no man's land. Darty now has no support and has to fade back into the apartments. He's waiting for the reinforcements, but this means that a bomb plant will come through for Marsborne.
Yeah, Darty has to basically start committing now to trying to fight for space that he's surely going to be struggling with. Are we serious? Wolfie tracking Slight. Great move from Darty. It's still even, 3-on-3. But is the smoke put up on Moto side? Not going to be refreshed. Darty has to get active. They know where he's coming from. P-Wills. Scope and seen as, oh my goodness, Viz gonna need more than that, but Chop handles Darty, and now it's all up to B-Wills, who's running for the hills.
That's unreal. Like, what's the saying? Well, we all know it. When it rains, it pours. Here for Boss. Unreal stuff. The spams through the smokes, connecting repeatedly. And Boss can't seem to buy a break. This CT side not going as well as it usually does for them. You know, 58.2% win percentage here. It is a far cry from that mark. The best they can get is 4 now heading to this final round of play in the first half, and they're looking at the possibility of back-to-back 3-9 deficits here.
And I mean, at least the op saved is going to add a little bit more to that, but Binley gets an MP9. Famas for Darty, though he's quite proficient with that weapon. Leaves a little bit to be desired. At least the utility belts are strong. Once again, a little bit disjointed there towards Banana, but B-Will sprinting down middle. Okay. Slight holding the line as well is going to get them even more. Trying to break open this smoke. Grizz handling Binley on the one end, but there's still a defender that has yet to be made known in Fruit Cup.
And, well, he's known. He's dead. Grizz took care of him. Grizz up to his 12th frag. Yeah, it's, we'll see. Wow. I mean, we've still got Chop here towards the A site, and B-Wills almost gets cut down by him. Nade tossed. B-Wills dodges that, but not enough because he's down to 23. So it's a tough engagement for him. He realizes that re-peeking would be a risk, and Chop continues to apply the pressure. Ends up with the frag as well. And his teammates are going towards B, so this could give a false sense of security for Slight. It doesn't! He hits the shot. I thought he had the call out for a moment. Backs off, resets, and there it is. Slight will get the last on the 6. He had 3K on the round, and they salvage a 4th out of the first half as we hit the break.
speakers come blown. I'll keep going till my speakers come blown. I'll keep going till my speakers come blown. I'll keep going till my till my speakers come. I'll keep going till my speakers come blown. 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 Till my speaker come. I'll keep going till my speaker come blown. I'll keep going till my speaker come blown. I'll keep going till my speaker come blown. I'll keep going till my speaker come blown.
Sometimes you gotta pray for a victory. Yeah, I'm overzealous when I'm thinking about the cash flow. I never had no handouts, just came natural.
We really picked up where we left off on Ancient, a victory there for Marsborne, and it's 8-4 on the half, John, to jump back into Inferno. And now Marsborne have the CT side to work with as well. A tech pause, so we got some time to talk about it. Where you left, that felt like a little bit of a resurgence for Boss early or late into the half, but is it enough?
I don't feel like it is. That's on their CT side. Only 4 rounds picked up as we got the Passion UA spray from Budapest. Yeah, that just came out today. I got to get my pick'ems in. Anyway, that's besides the point.
You got some time.
Yeah, I do. I think so. But at the same time, it's just for me, looking at the strong side, honestly, of CT side for Boss, they need way more than that. Now they go to their weaker end of T side. And it's the flip side for Marsborne going to the CT side where they won 66.4% of their rounds over 26 maps. That is a very large sample size. And to stay above 60% against tough competition is crazy. I don't see a path to victory for Boss in this series, in this map.
Yeah. I mean, thinking about who are those tough competition. You've got multiple games against M80. They dominated Saw out here at Frag. One of those games against M80 they did win, and additional victories against the likes of this Boss team, a Skin Rave team that's quality. Bunch of those against Lag. It's a lot of depth. Is really what that comes down to. Looking like we are still hanging out in that tech pause, by the way. But ultimately, I think 2 things pointed out on that Boss defensive side that I really wanted to touch on. I really struggled with how they approached banana control. I think that it's not as if it was bad all the way top to bottom. it just wasn't cohesive. You had one player sometimes being aggressive and another. Normally you would like see some supportive, making the supportive play, but it didn't feel like Binley was constantly throwing utility. It was something to start setting that up, but then B-Wills just got caught out very consistently there. And so it was as if there was just two different holds on B, one top banana player and one site player. It was very disjointed.
No, I agree with you. And as I mentioned before, it's strange because I've seen B-Wills and Ben take space together down banana many a time before, and it worked out beautifully. And this time, yeah, they were of two minds. And you see, maybe the Boss are trying to change things up, and they're crossing their wires and not really on the same page. Like the cogs aren't fitting together at the moment, and the whole machine's about to collapse and break apart. It feels like under a lot of these instances. So yeah, I mean, there are multiple reasons why I feel like Boss are not going to be able to overcome Marsborne in this map, and I mean, I've just only touched on a couple.
See where this pistol round leads. Boss would absolutely love to be picking this one up. They've got a wide array of utility here. 4 flashes, smoke, molly, all ready for whatever this execute will bring on the CT side. A couple of dualies, a flashbang. Speaking of those dualies, the duo of them, both towards A. Which is pretty interesting. A lot of time you're going to see these at banana. Not the case here.
.120 on the clock. Gonna be a death ball through apartments by Boss. Try to come out, and they will get it. Okay, a little bit slow on that frag against Grizz, but there's the 2K they were looking for. A site overwhelmed, and now all 3 players from B are going to try and rotate in.
And they had 4 flashes, and damn, were they put to good use.
Yeah.
That was pretty much perfectly executed out of Boss. And to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised to see Marsborne just save this. Even though that's not the fun way to go about this pistol round, but that's certainly what it looks like they're going to be doing. A couple of Kevlars, 6E, only a flashbang that he could be holding on to. So unsurprisingly, he's the one to fight.
Yeah, I mean, getting a kill here would help. Wolfie hears the footsteps. He stays in cover, pops out. There's Chop finding one, and Wolfie, no, won't happen for him, but it does for 60, and eventually does Wolfie find one. So that's actually fantastic. They save all their guns and armor, and they get 3 frags, which bolsters their economy by an additional $150. Or 4 frags, excuse me, that's $200.
Flashbang, or critically, I think it's actually the breaking point to be able to get, a few more MP9s in this case. Extra Kevlar as well for everybody. 60 included, who obviously didn't save any of his, because he did not buy any on the pistol round. But highly important victory there for Boss. I really want to credit that execution. How blind everyone was. Nobody could see a darn thing on that A site. As perfect as it gets. Very explorative is B-Wills, and he's alone. Nobody's made contact till now at top banana.
It's a good spot from 6E. Now flashbang. B-Wills is just trying to fake this at this stage. It's going A again. Grizz waits on the site. Ooh, the shots go wide and he's in a tough spot. Smoke gonna get tossed. They'll give him some cover to escape from this corner, which he kind of has to. Trying to maneuver around. Does do a lot of damage, but that's all he will get. Viz, on the other hand, collects a couple of scalps and looks for the 3rd, but won't find that. Down to a 3v3, though, so very recoverable for Marsborne. Smoke can get recycled for Moto, but B-Wills takes care of 60 before it blooms. Wolfie. Going in, finds one, and the second. What's happening here? Ben Leet, the last one available, and Wolfie has clutched it out for a 3K. Bomb going to get defused as well. It's the full 10 seconds. Should have time. Might be a little close, but I think it's actually fine. Yeah, it's perfectly fine. Plenty of time available. 9th round found for Marsborne, and devastation strikes for Boss after winning their pistol and losing the follow-up.
I find that everybody is spamming there. I find it very interesting, to be honest with you, because it gives away all the positioning, and that's why Wolfie's able to get away with that. I don't know if that's an unfair criticism or not, but it is something that is a little bit odd. Boss, I think, thinking they had already won the round, thinking that no way they'd be going.
Yeah. No, definitely. That was the mindset for Boss, and just a devastating strike from Wolfie. He's got the op now in round 3 of the half. Already buying into that because you get that SMG money, right?
18 hundo. Time to work your way back into this with a very significant hope that Boss could start to, find a little bit more success off the pistol round. Well, a big stumbling block placed in that last round by Wolfie. Maybe more. Arch side smoked off. A little bit of a blocker in that incendiary in Banana, but all quiet right now. This Boss really making no noise.
Very slow pace. Still enough util for Boss to go for a bit of an execute here. Obviously the force buy coming through, which will make the next round after this very tough. They don't find victory, and 25 seconds left, and they still haven't gone for any tossing of the util. This is going to be really, really tough. 20 seconds now, still not near the bomb site. Counter util is great from Marsborne. There's no chance, right? Absolutely zero that Boss are going to take this one. And yep, there they go, falling one after the other like dominoes, as Marsborne have 4 survivors and a stranglehold on the map.
I mean, Grizz has been so incredible, and it stays that way. That's one of the positions that I think Grizz is so good at. It can be such an effective player on the A bomb site for Marsborne, and he does it very nicely in that round. And I also just the irony of how solid the apps pop was on the pistol, and then for that to be so lackluster, obviously lacking a lot of utility they would want in a full purchase round. But Boss, they've got an eco. Oh my goodness.
What?
Not going to be able to make their way very far. 4-6's nade, and then his Galil to shut down the final 2. Chop clearing a triple. Fast as you like, blink and you miss it. That is Boss gone in an instant.
I mean, I know it's just Glocks, but man, they melted them with the spray from the M4. And, 11-5 in favor of Marsborne. Just like that, they're 2 rounds away from another 2-0 sweep of Boss. Darty, along with the rest of the squad, have got the AKs except for Ben Lead on that Galil. But we talked about, I think we talked about it anyway, I know we did in the green room, but Ben Lead's individual struggles here on this Boss squad, and that hasn't really changed, unfortunately, on both of these maps. He hasn't been able to have that impact, and I feel like, IGL's maybe not expected to be top fraggers, but now there is a little bit more on their shoulders skill-wise. Like, you've got to be able to contribute at least somewhat, and that hasn't really happened here for Ben. Grizz gets the opener, 5v4 for Marsborne. B-Will's already down to below half health, and this is just not trending well for Boss.
Underconfidence too for Wolfie to hold the Tech 9 out there to make sure that Chop can get away. Excuse me, the Grizz can get away. Regardless of who it is, Boss not able to track them down. And so Darty falls. And there's no responses. Wolfie a much more passive angle, but still locked eyes on long haul. And it's a very strong setup in bracket as well. Grizz now elevated with Viz's support, though that... Oh, never mind. I thought that smoke was going to go arch side. Viz still here. Nice incendiary that's going to delay once again.
And Wolfie threads the needle. Fruit Cup's gone. Incendiary lands right at the feet of Ben Leet, but it's while he's already dead because Grizz took care of it with a volley of bullets from the AK. Wolfie finds another one with the op. 2 for him, 2 for Grizz, and B-Wills is stranded and alone. 6C will put him out of his misery. 12-5 for Marsborne. They have 7 opportunities to close out Inferno and keep Boss below the mark they hit last time of 6 rounds if they get this win right here.
Yeah, superb. And, I mean, look at what the buy is built up with.
Jeez.
At least they've got a lot of utility. You know, there's that. At least a little something going for Boss, but I will say it doesn't feel like it's going to change much of anything.
It doesn't matter how much utility you have if you die right away. Oh my goodness. Wolfie, dynamic, flying around the corner, getting 2. Darty tries to come out and does actually succeed in getting 1. Fruit Cup another, so hold on a second. Maybe Boss still do have some life in them. A 3v3. Fruit Cup jumping up from pit, hits the headshot on Viz. Haven't really seen much from him throughout this series, but this could be a great time for him to awaken to keep Boss kicking. Chop and 6C need to try and group up towards this site. They've got plenty of money, so there's nothing to lose about risking it here.
Chop's going to be so late, though. This is the hard spot. Fruit Cup in pit, B-Wills in mini, and of course, Darty now wielding the op on site. 60 hoping to play on that smoke fade, but I mean, it just got refreshed, so it's only now that it becomes a question mark. He's getting onto the site. 60 goes down, and time has expired, but he can take them all with, but not Darty. Never mind, Darty will not survive anyway, but Boss, they do win the round.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Boss at least getting themselves to a 6 there. It cost them absolutely everything. And looking at the economy for Marsborne, they don't really care. They got another buy-up coming in, fully investing into this round. And on the other side, Boss, no choice. You got to fully invest, but it's not going to lead to as much as they would like. Still a couple of AKs, a Galil, and 2 MAC-10s, better than the previous one. And, you know, just goes to show you how important utility can be. Even though they do lose a couple of pieces early on, they still have more than enough to go into and execute towards A. This is surprising that Boss would try to go that fast and accelerate to the B site, because those fast plays haven't necessarily worked for them. And now they will slow up, but 60 doesn't. He finds one, doesn't get the second one. Fruit Cup and Ben Lee find a couple back, but it is going to be even numbers again, with Chop being the only presence left on this B site.
Yeah, but rotation starting to come in the form of Wolfie. And that's exactly when Boss started to walk away, approaching the 1 minute mark of this round. And with Grizz, the only defender left on A, Wolfie actually is coming back, and he will be here on time. But Grizz in a very tenuous position. No mollies or anything to clear him out, and at this point, Boss not even looking to go in that direction. Everybody making their way through the apartments, and it's Wolfie's op. It's going to be in prime position.
Yep. Beautiful. Hits one. Chambers another round, looking for the second, and he finds it on the move. The dynamic opping continues here for Wolfie, and the map and series are closed out. 19 frags for Wolfie, leading the charge for his squad. Again, looking so impressive on a map of Inferno that is difficult for some of the best oppers, but he has managed to do it time and time again.
Yeah, this is, I mean, a classic Wolfie performance. Honestly, though, everybody playing well.
Oh, they did.
Nobody at all that you could really look to and say they had a underperformance or a bad game on the Marsborne side. And, you know, I think you said it at one point earlier in this matchup, where when this team is on, like, as a unit, they're a very scary team to go up against. There's not a weak spot. And even Chop, who, you know, if you look statistically, is like the least impressive player, like if you're a numbers guy, which I can understand. understand it's his ability to like close rounds and, you know, be an it factor in a mid round where he's capable of doing just about anything you need him to, even though those stats aren't popping off the page. That it makes that reality that you were highlighting so true.
Yeah, no, and it's unbelievable. I mean, Chris had 17 frags, I think, at the end of it as well. 60 had those pop-off performances at the beginning of the match, and yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I mean, I agree with myself what I said earlier too. Right? It's just it's a crazy squad that we've got here, and I feel like in North America, this is the team to watch. Sure, they're going to be a little shaky sometimes. They're still ironing out the kinks in some ways, but they've impressed me enough. You're going to see this lower bracket run from them. Not too many maps required because they only played in the semifinals and then here in the lower bracket final. But they're just a strong team right now, and they're on the rise in every way.
Yeah, going to get the opportunity potentially for a rematch against Voka, or it's going to be a match against Skin Rave, the loser of that game that is in the upper final yet to happen. That's happening tomorrow, that Marsborne will face for a spot in the Grands. That's exactly what's on the line here as well. And very important for Marsborne specifically, if I'm not mistaken, you know, Voka, Skin Rave, those guys already making it deep into the final. I forget what we're calling it. The final ECL Cup, though, whatever.
Regional final.
Thank you. Yes. I apologize. Not quite getting there. But yeah, they're already there. So Marsborne, it is massively important for them as a team that is in the last 2 months stepped into being, you know, arguably in the top 5 in this region to, you know, be able to take themselves to that position. So it's a lot of important games coming up over these next couple of days.
Yeah, I agree, and we'll see who they end up facing. As you mentioned, we're going to find out tomorrow, and well, speaking of which, we are done here for today. We will be back tomorrow for that promised matchup, but for now, Vincent and I will bid you adieu. Hope you all have a fantastic evening.
ESL presents ESL Challenger League in partnership with Intel, Acer Predator, DHL, and Qiddiya.